Hello friends, and welcome back to my crafty space. My name is Crystal, and in today's video I am going to be sharing a project using the new Ali Edwards August Digital Stories by the Month kit. So the majority of this project was done on the computer prior to coming here over to the desk. I do have everything out in front of me here. But before we get started on actually assembling it all, I am going to take you over to my computer screen to show you how I created all of the different components to this spread. It is a bit of a lengthy process for the Photoshop portion. So what I will do is I will put a timestamp on the bottom of this video so you guys can see where the physical portion picks back up in case you want to just skip over the Photoshop part, because I do know that it's on the longer side this time. So let me show you what I've got here, and then we'll head over to the computer. So what I have in front of me, I was drawn to this card. You'll see it when we get to the computer, that has 4 tags on it. So what I did is I extracted those tags out of that card and I printed them separately with a little bit of journaling on them, in addition to these super tiny little photos that are going to go on those different tags. I also have 2 additional tags that are technically chipboard pieces, but you know, when you print everything off, it's all whatever you've got. So I have all of those printed on cardstock, in addition to some hole reinforcers. I just have this We Are Memory Keepers hole enforcer punch that I used on some pink cardstock just to make some enforcers for both the tags and for the page itself. So that's that. I have 2, not 6x8, they are 4x8. No, 3x8. They are 3x8 photos that are just quotes or filler cards that are going to go in between 2 different spreads. And then I have 1 spread that's going to be a tag page and 1 spread that's going to be this like circle super fun page. So what we're going to do, we're going to head over to the computer. I'll show you guys that part. If you want to skip that, check out the timestamp down below, and then we'll come back over here and get everything assembled together. Welcome to my computer screen. So what I have here up on the screen is basically the end result of what this is going to look like digitally before I get everything printed off. So let me show you guys how I created the different components. First, let's start with the absolute easiest one, which is this middle piece right here. So on one side, I have this joy is even greater when it comes unexpected. And then on the back side, I'm going to have life goes on. So let's do this one first. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull open the 3x4 journaling card. So this one says life goes on. And then I'm going to go ahead and grab the other one as well. This is actually a 4x6. It was the marketing card. And it was the, what is this, vertical, the vertical style. So now that I have those opened, I want to create a new canvas, and I want this canvas to be 3 inches wide by 8 inches tall. This is just going to go in one of those 3x8 pockets. And there we go. So you know what, let's go ahead and open up 2 of those just so we can do both of these at the same time, basically. So we're going to go back to the Life Goes On card. We're going to select all of it and copy it, then paste it onto that 3x8 card. Let's go ahead and do the same thing for the blue card here. The difference is for this one, since it is wider than 3 inches, it does like go off the edge there. So we can go ahead and transform, which on Creative Cloud you do by hitting Control T or Command T, and then we can shrink that down to fit in the right size, hit enter, and it will come into focus. So now we have those 2 on here. The next thing that I want to do is pick up the background color with my color picker, and then we're going to use the paint can to go ahead and paint the back, just like so. Let's do the same thing over here. So color picker, grab the blue, paint can, and we're going to paint in the background there. From here, I'm just going to merge these layers, so you can select both layers down in the layers panel, right click and merge layers, or you can just go Control Shift and the letter E, and that will also merge all of those layers together. So those are the middle 3x8 portions. So pretty simple, pretty simple. Next, let's close everything that we don't need anymore. Next, let's talk about the, let's do this side first, the right side. So to do this right side, I let's go to the right one. I first started with this 4x6 card that says learning these things about myself and my life right now. Now I want this to go outside of a page protector because I want the tag element on it to be interactive. So the page size I want is 6.875, or you can do 7 inches if you want, but I like 6.875 by 8.25 inches tall. So let's go ahead and create that, and there we go. I need to switch over to my move tool here. Then we're going to go back to that journaling card, select it all, copy it, and paste it onto our page here. Now this is going to be smaller than the canvas, kind of like we had before. So I'm just going to transform it and then expand it so that it fills up the entire width of this page, and then just make sure it's up at the top. This looks pretty good. And then I will merge these layers together so that this becomes my background page. So far, so good. We'll get rid of that. So next what I wanted to do was to create a tag element that these are actually going to hang on the page, which we'll do once we get over to the craft table. But for the sake of this digital portion, I needed to figure out, how I could arrange the tags on this page. So what I did is I took this journaling card right here. So this is the journaling card where the tags came from initially, as well as 2 of the chipboard tags. So I have the So Love This Story tag and this Good Stuff tag. So once I had that, let's get these out first. So what I want to do is extract these tags from the background so I can actually use them individually. So I'm going to grab my magic wand tool, and I might actually need to zoom in quite a bit. So yeah, like that'll be good. Then we're going to grab the magic wand tool, and we're going to select the red from the tag. We're going to hold down the shift key so that our magic wand shows up with a little plus sign on it. And then we're going to click on the white little circle, the white box right here, and then we need all of the portions of these numbers as well until there are no more marching ants on this page, or in this tag, I should say. So that looks great. Now I'm going to right click, and you can either layer via copy or layer via cut. I think I'll just do copy. So now if I hide my background and zoom out, well, let's do this. You can see that I have that red tag basically extracted from the background. So now we can hide that tag and bring back our background, make sure the background is selected, and we can do the same thing to number 2, number 3, and number 4. So let me do one more so you can just see it one more time. So magic wand, click on the color, then we're going to click on those white portions, and then just make sure we have all the bits and pieces for these numbers. So that is good. Right click and either layer via copy or via cut. If I hide this and zoom back out, we can see the tag is now extracted. So what I did is I did this to all 4 of those tags. Then I grabbed the tags themselves, copied them, and then I'm going to paste them. It's this one right here. Oh, it's going to take a second to get over there, I think. There we go. I'm going to paste it on my background. So now you can see that these are going to end up being really small. And I want to make them bigger so I can add text and photos inside of them. So what I'm going to do is just transform it on here and expand it until it gets to, a good size that I like. This might even be, well, it might be fine actually. And then I'm going to use the guidelines to help me do the other ones, or make the other ones the same size. So let's separate those out. And then I can do the same thing again with the chipboard pieces. So copy it, paste it over onto my canvas here. We're going to move it so it lines up with the top of those, transform it, and we will grow it until it's the same. So now we have 3 across, and I did the same thing to get 3 across the bottom as well. From here, what I wanted to do, we'll go back to the spread so you can see. So I have 1, 2, 3, and mine are a little bit smaller actually than these ones, but you can make them as big or as small as you want. So then what I did is I decided, well, I didn't just randomly decide. I do have a way of figuring it out. So if you go to the rectangular marquee tool, you can draw a box inside of these tags, and if you hold down the mouse key, it'll give you a width and height. So this is like it's 1.4 inches wide and 1 inch high is basically what my box there is. So actually these might be a little smaller than the ones that I made, because mine were 1.5 inches by 1 inch. So anyway, what I did then was opened up all of the pictures I wanted to use and I cropped them into that size. So these are the size that my marquee box is. So that's how I was able to do that. Then once I had the photo in there, I could just grab my text box and add a little bit of text up at the top. Let's change that to black. You know, and then just have that on all of these little tags. So that, let's move tool. That is basically how I made this spread. So then what I wanted to do is just to print off these tags. Some of the photos I printed on photo paper, the tags and the background I printed on cardstock, but I did print the the tags with the journaling on them. I printed separately from the background. I wonder if I still have that up here so I can show you. Yep, here it is. So I've got my background paper here and then all 6 tags ready to go right here, just minus the photos, so that I can actually cut them out and make them interactive once everything is printed. So that's that. That is the right side. Let me get rid of these and then I'll show you the left side. So the left side was a little bit trickier with the circles, but it was kind of fun to figure this one out. So what I did here, let's again start with the 6.875 by 8.25 canvas, so a full page canvas. Then I was really attracted to this journaling card right here. So what I did is I used my shape tool and I went to the ellipse and then just clicked on my page here, and I believe I made these like 2.5 inches. We'll find out. So 2.5 inches, let's put it there. And then I'm going to, let's fill it with a color. Let's fill it with white so we can see it. That looks good. And then we're going to move it. Oh yeah, definitely not 2.5 inches. Maybe more like, well, I mean, we can really kind of decide from here. So let's move this out, move it back so we can see where it's at. It can even be smaller than that. Well, we can figure it out from here. So anyway, so let's just pretend that this shape here is the right size. I'm going to raster size it so I can copy it and paste it. Okay. We're just going to move these on top of each of those circles on this page. Yep. So far, so good. One more. Perfect. So now everything is covered with a big white circle. So we're going to go down to the background and unlock the background layer. And then we are going to, actually, before we do that, we need to copy the background layer. So let's copy it and we're going to paste it on here 5 times. So we're going to have 6 of the exact same thing. So there's 6 of them now. And what I want to do is move them above each of the circles. So down in the layers panel, we're just going to move these up so that it goes layer, ellipse, layer, ellipse, layer, ellipse, so on and so on and so on. Let's just keep going. And okay, is that all of them? That is all of them. Okay, so now I want to hide all of the layers except for the very first 2. So we're going to hide, hide, hide. Okay, here we go. So now we just have the 1 circle ellipse and the 1 background. So we're going to click on the background, right click on it, and create clipping mask. And this is going to put that first circle inside of the shape that we made. So if we want the shape to be a different size, you can click on the ellipse and transform it. And then you can go ahead and make it bigger or smaller or whatever you want to do. And you also have the opportunity, so like let's say that's good. You can also click on the layer section or the photo part and you can move what's inside, like I can slightly adjust it if I want to. So that looks good. Then I'm going to click on this layer 2 and ellipse 1 and we will right click and merge those together. Now let's hide that and we'll bring up the next 2. So we're going to click on that photo layer and create clipping mask. It'll put it inside of the circle. So this one you can see my circle is too small. So I need to transform it and then we're going to expand it just a little bit so that, you know, everything works out. That's pretty good. And then we'll click on that layer 1 and just kind of adjust it until we're happy with placement. Sure. We will select the 2 layers together, right click and merge those layers, then hide it. So I did this for all 6 of these circles. Let's see here again. Actually, I could probably just move this one a little bit and that will be fine. Yep, so I did this with all 6 of these shapes. I'm gonna just quickly do them all. Whoops. Nope, I need you and you. Okay. Let's see if I can just nudge you. Sure. Okay. And merge, and then we will create clipping mask. Actually, that looks pretty good. Sure, so we'll merge those. And last but not least, this one's pretty good too, so we'll just, yeah, that looks good. Okay, so let's merge that. So now if I show all of these circles, they're all going to be separated out with no background. So what I did with these is I copied them all. So I just selected all of the layers, copied it, and then I pasted them onto this background here. Oops, let me unclick. So then I just kind of like sort of made a pattern here. I think this one I had down here. And the other thing that I wanted to use on this spread was this tag right here that says find joy and write it down. So I want to first fill in the hole because this is not going to be a tag for me. It's just going to be, you know, actually I just want to paint you. I don't want to paint can you. All right, cool. Okay, so we are going to grab the tag. We are going to put it on the spread, and this I want to be quite a bit bigger. So it is more substantial. Okay, so let's say sure, that's good. And then these, I just kind of like made them bigger, you know, made some really big. I think this one, honestly, I don't even remember. Let's go back. Yep, so I did the blue one down here and so you can see how they are different sized all over on this spread. Pretty cool. So to get you know what, let's do this. Let's close out of here and I will open up the one that does not have, I don't need this anymore, and I don't need that anymore. Let's open up the one that doesn't have, do I have it in here? Let's try and spread with words. Okay, here we go. So this is the background minus the words and the photos. So to put the photos in here, what I did is I used this ellipse tool again. This time I made it with no fill and no stroke. And all that I did was hold the shift key down to create a circle that seemed about the right size. Then I could move it where I wanted it to go. So let's say in here. Sometimes it's just easier to move it with arrow keys. Okay, so that looks good. With these circles still selected, I haven't hit enter or anything. I'm going to go over to my text tool, grab it. And now when I go to put my text inside the circle, there's like this dotted circle line around it. So when I click in here, it'll fill in the circle and keep it like confined to that circle space. I do want my text to be centered. But otherwise, that's pretty much it. So I did that for a couple of the different spaces. Then for some of them, I did photos. I believe it was these 3, the 2 red circles and this teal one. So to get my picture in there, let's go back. I'll show you what I mean. To get my picture in here perfectly like this, you see how it's got the shape of the circle itself, right? It's not like a perfect circle. What I did is I used the, we're going to select let's select this circle right here. So I'm just going to click on it. I'm going to grab that magic wand tool and I'm just going to click on the center area, right click and layer via copy, right? So then we can do the same thing to the red circle over here. Make sure it's selected, magic wand, click in the middle, right click, and layer via copy. And then one more time on this teal one, we're going to use the magic wand, click on the white area, and layer via copy. So now if I have the pictures I want to use, so let's just pull open a photo. Did I delete them all out of here? I must have. Okay, let's go find a random photo here. Sure, how about this one? So like, let's say I was going to use this picture in one of those circles. So I am going to grab the, let's see if I can find, yes, so this is going to be right here. So I want to copy that little spot, and then we're going to paste it onto my picture here, right? So we're going to do the same thing as before, where we unlock the layer, move the layer in on top of the circle, right click, and create clipping mask. Then with the photo selected, I can transform the photo and shrink it down in order to fit inside that space. So like, let's put it, let's say right there, hit enter, it's going to clear all up. And then we can merge these two together, copy this photo, and put it back onto our spread. Whoops. Let's put it on here so you guys can actually, see it. There we go. And we can put it right on that spot that we made earlier. So that is how I did my pictures for all of those. And you could do that for any of the spaces that have like a big block color, like in this white one, the white one, the green one, the red ones, teal, the orange. The yellow would be a little bit harder because you have the white pieces in there, and the black would definitely be hard because it's all black. So that probably wouldn't work for that one. But for these ones, it totally will. Okay, let's go back and make sure I covered everything. I think I did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to print everything out, and then I will meet you guys back over at the craft table, and we will put this thing together in its physical form. So I will see you guys over there. All right, well, now that we have all of that done, let's go ahead and get started putting this thing together. So I'm going to start with the circle side of the spread, and I decided to print all of those circles out on fabric paper, and then what I want to do is to fussy cut them out and add them onto the cardstock piece. So I decided to do that because I really like the texture, the feeling of fabric paper, but I also really like having the cardstock behind it so that there's almost like a shadow kind of deal. It gives the page a little bit more dimension by adding one on top of the other. So it just worked for me. So what I need to do as I'm going through this, and I also have those photos that I had fussy cut into those exact shapes. So as I add the circles onto the page, I can also put the photos into the circles. Now, as I am cutting these out, I am using the negative piece to almost like a stencil or what do I want to say? I guess kind of like a stencil. So I'm going to put it back onto the page as though it were all together, and that is going to help guide me on where to put these shapes. So I'm going to show you guys a couple of them until I get to that middle one. Once we get to the middle one, I'll skip over all the rest, and we'll just go to the point where this page is all the rest of the way put together. So for this side of the spread, the stories that I'm telling are just things that have brought us joy lately. So I went through my photos over the last month or so, picked out a couple of the ones that I really liked, and then in those journaling bits, I just talked about things that we have super enjoyed. So like the one of Izzy with the paintbrushes is, enjoying arts and crafts and just doing like schoolwork and crafts and stuff like that together. The one where it shows Jonah, I believe I talked about being outside. And then the picture of me, which will be the next one. Honestly, I don't even remember what the journaling was about. I don't remember. But it was something that was bringing me joy. So I've got a picture of 3 out of the 4 of us on this spread, and that works out for me. So here you can see I'm cutting out that middle piece, trying to cut it as close as I can so that when I add it on here, it's just like the stencil. I can just put it right on there. And then once I get that adhered down, we will skip over the rest until we get to where everything is stuck down on the page. So there we go. Now from here, I went ahead and re-hole punched the areas where the fabric paper covered over it. And then I realized eventually that I hole punched the wrong side. So I should have hole punched this one on the right side, and the spread I'll be working on next on the left side. So, it's okay. It just takes me a minute of staring at it to figure out that it's totally fine. I pulled out my chipboard pieces. So I have a container of the chipboard pieces that are left over from other kits and other products. I pulled out one that says "For the Record." It's just like a black tile. Added that on top of the quote, and then pulled out my puffy heart stickers from Ellie's Studio, added an orange one on the blue quote page, so that now has kind of it's got like a column look to it. And then I'm going to add 2 more on the Find Joy page just to round it out by having 3. I like to have the 3 shapes, and it gives it kind of a triangle to draw your eye in. Next, we're going to work on this tag page. So this tag page is totally 100% inspired by a spread that I saw Annette Geller make on her YouTube channel. I am going to put a link to her spread, the original inspiration spread, down in the description box below. Also, if you guys do not already follow or subscribe to Annette on YouTube, you definitely should. She makes the most awesome 12 by 12 pages. So to do this page, what I did is I trimmed out all of those tags, and then I added one of the hole reinforcers at the top, re-punched the hole in the middle so that it was as big as the reinforcer there. Then I'm going to add my photos on there. I do round out the corners on the bottom 2 corners just to have it follow the shape of the tag. And then I'm going to take the other set of reinforcers and put them just slightly above where those tags are going to go. From there, I'm going to go ahead and adhere all of those down. And then once I have those all adhered down, I need to figure out where to place the tags so that they all hang in basically the same line. So I'm going to make a mark on this one right here on the hole on the tag. Then I'm going to take them all off of the page. I'm going to grab my ruler here and measure from the top of the page to where I made that mark. And then I can go ahead and add those marks to the top 3 hole reinforcers on the page. And then I do the same thing where I'm going to measure from the top of the hole reinforcer to where I made the mark, so that on the bottom row of them I can do the same thing. I can measure however far I need to go, and then we can go ahead and make those marks as well. So once we have that done, the next thing I need to do is go ahead and hole punch all of the middles of those hole reinforcers and the spot where I made the mark on the paper. So you see I've got 6 holes for each row, or 2 for each tag. Then what I do is I take some twine, cut a pretty decent size string of it, go through both of the holes, tie once, and then add my tag on there, tie it again, and then make it into a little bow. So it's super cute. And then that lets it just kind of like wiggle there, but it doesn't let it go too far. So it doesn't, like when this goes in the book, the tags aren't going to be going everywhere and all crazy, because they are basically stuck where they're at. But it has the appearance of looking like they're hanging free. So one thing I will suggest if you choose to do something like this is to keep the knot that ties the tag to the page a little bit looser so that it can wiggle if you want it to. I just had to do that for that one. So I am going to skip over me putting the rest of these on there, trim off the excess string, and then we're going to bring over the title or the filler card right there and just add a piece of chipboard to it and a heart to it, and then that is going to call this done. This one, again, all I did was print out some photos of some things where it's like I've been learning about myself lately, and I just typed out like a little itty bitty bit of text to give context to what those photos are of. And yeah, that's what this page is about. So that is basically going to do it for this spread. I am going to pull over the rest of it, and we will go ahead and slow back down. All right, so that finishes this one up. So that was a bit labor intensive, if I do say so myself. Kind of like you guys basically just got like 2 spreads in one video there, because yeah, I probably could have made these 2 separate videos, but that's okay. Oh well. Anyway, I love these pages so much. I really like the challenge of making digital elements seem like really, I don't know, just come to life. I love making digital come to life. So super love this. So this, as I'm sure I've already said, was inspired by Annette. I want to say her last name is Geller, but I will link her down below for sure for you guys, so you can go and check out her YouTube channel. She makes amazing 12 by 12 pages. So this was totally inspired by her. Loved it, and I thought that it was such a fun way to use all those tag shapes this month with this month's kit. Then we've got the 2 quotes in the middle, and that really fun circle page that we made using the fabric paper and photos and just a few little embellishments here and there. So super fun, really bold, really different, but I like it. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up down below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can see all of my future crafty videos. If you guys have any questions about anything that I did today, I know that there was a lot happening and a lot going on. So if you guys have any questions about any of it, please let me know, and I would be happy to assist in any way possible. Yeah, so I will be back later this week with a couple more videos, so keep your eye out for those. And until then, I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will catch you all in the next video. Bye now.